Hey guys, thank you for clicking onto this video. So last night I was watching Ninja Scrolls, and man, this thing brought me back to the days where I was a young man trying to get my hands on any animation. And this is one of the best animations I've seen next to A Fist of North Star, Vampire Hunter D, Akira. Yeah, this video animation is that good. But there was one particular character on this animation, and that was the ninja girl. This one right here. There's something cool about her, you know. When I saw her, I was thinking of Elektra, Black Widow, Cyclops from the X-Men. You know, the ninja girls, the girls who got skills. So I was just thinking, hey, I got a pen and a pencil. I got some drawing skills. How about if I just make my own ninja girl? See what happens from there. All right, from here, I did a little breakdown of it. You know, I got the main character in the middle, I got the two ninjas by her side, and she's surrounded by buildings and other ninjas that's about to attack her from above. So, make it a little interesting right here. She's surrounded by the enemies in a dark alley kind of way. So, let's get into it. Let's see how this is going to look at the end of the process.
If you're like me, you're probably seeking out material to keep you inspired. I'm sure you probably have a couple of hundred comics, a couple of games, and a huge collection of animation. And I bet you most of that animation is Japanese animation. And I'm sure in your collection you probably have Akira, Dragon Ball Z, and Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, the good stuff. And I'm kinda sure you've probably seen your animes, your favorite animes, more than a handful. Matter of fact, I am guessing you've probably seen it more than 7 or 8 times. And those animations has probably influenced you into drawing, painting, or story writing, animation. The list goes on and on. In many ways, it's kind of healthy to watch your stuff that you like, your favorite movies and your favorite animation over and over again. It kind of changes you a little bit. It sort of makes you from a fan to amateur to professional, and especially in the things that you want to do, like writing or drawing or animation or painting. It somehow creeps up to you. You know, your favorite writer, your favorite artist. As you're watching these good material that you're kind of soaking in, that you're kind of absorbing, it makes you kind of like a art critic in sort of ways, or a person who somehow know the difference between good storytelling and bad storytelling. And these are the things that slowly creeps up to you. When you have hundreds of comics, you slowly become a person who know good art. If you become a person who loves movies, you somehow become a person who knows bad writing, bad storytelling, and you know what's the good stuff are. If you're a good person who loves animation, you immediately know what's crappy animation and good animation, especially if you're watching a whole lot of anime and American cartoons. You would know it instantly after over the years of absorbing all these good stuff. So you slowly turn to a person who knows good art, who knows good story, who knows good animation, even video games. If the more you play video games, you would know what video games that get you more excited. Once you start playing it for the first 10-15 minutes, you would immediately know that, oh man, this is good. This is good. And that good feeling lasts throughout the whole experience of the game. Movies too. You would notice in the first 5 minutes. The comic, the first 3 pages. Animation, the first 4 to 3 minutes. You slowly become a person who loves art, who loves storytelling, who loves animation. These materials, these aspiring content, media, or entertainment, however you call it, will one day your hobbies and the thing that you take great interest in will only lead you to a certain path that you will enjoy for the rest of your life. it's kind of cool how the way things are right now. We got all our entertainment in a few clicks, just a few clicks away from a an app or a website, and it's kind of cool. Just a while ago, I was watching two movies back to back, and it was kind of I had this funny feeling like, man, look how times changed. I don't even have to go in my closet or get up and get a DVD or a Blu-ray to put it in my player and watch the movie. Is only like two clicks away from Netflix, or one or two clicks to watch a video on YouTube. And I was just wondering, man, wow, this generation got it that easy. You know, back in the days, entertainment was scattered throughout the whole place. To get your movies, to get your comic, to get a magazine, to go watch a movie, you had to hop on a train or a bus or catch a ride of your friends to go to the movie theaters. Man, well, for the comics, oh man, the comics was a journey, because comics at that time, it was only sold in newspaper stands or grocery stores and sometimes bodegas. Man, it was kind of brutal to get your favorite comic book at that time. You know, sometimes you had to leave your neighborhood to go get your favorite comic. So if I wanted a steady pace of Iron Man, I would literally had to check several newsstands, because not every newsstands ordered the same comic. Some newsstands order Avengers and Iron Man, and some other newsstands will order X-Men and Justice League. They were not all the same. So if I wanted Iron Man or a particular comic, I would literally have to check 3 or 4 newsstands to see if they had it. So yeah, and these newsstands will be like 10 blocks apart, 15 blocks apart. So it'll be like a journey to look for one particular comic. So if I wanted Fantastic Four 123, I would have to literally check 3 or 4 newsstands. Yeah, it was like that. It was like that. Then I would have to check the grocery store to see if they have an Avenger or Justice League or a Green Lantern. So yeah, it was scattered all over the place. And boy, if it was raining or snowing out there, oh man, that would be one journey hard to forget for the rest of your life, just for comics. Yeah, so that's how it was for comics. For animation, of course, you had to get a video. You had to register yourself at your local video store to rent videos. And just like the newsstands, comic books newsstands, now all video stores carry the same videos that you like. So one video store will have Akira, but if you're looking for Bubblegum Crisis, you have to check other video stores, and which means you had to register through them to rent videos. So it's just like, to get your entertainment, you you will have to venture out all over your neighborhood. And sometimes, especially if you're looking for manga, just for that, because it's Japanese animation and Japanese style animation, you would literally have to go outside your neighborhood. So yeah, there in some cases you might have to travel a mile or two. So a couple of blocks for comics, go to your video rental stores, go to a couple of video rental stores to look for your favorite anime, and for your favorite manga, boy, you have to look outside your box. You got you're really gonna have to do some traveling, So yeah, your entertainment was scattered throughout the whole place, all over the place. And man, in some cases, you become like an Indiana Jones of collecting your entertainment. It was adventurous. It was adventurous. It was a time where it would build you. Because when you buy these stuff, you find yourself not throwing them away. You find yourself not trading them at all, because look what you had to go through to get them, to make your small private collection. For cartoons, well, for cartoons, it was a little bit different. After school, you kind of run home to watch your favorite cartoon, Transformers, GI Joe, and Thundercats. Right after school, you can only give a few minutes to hang out with friends, talk some junk and do some tradings. Then after that, you know what time it is. You gotta run home to catch the remainder of Transformers. Hopefully, you see Optimus Prime saving his boys from Megatron. Getting his boys out of trouble. And see some GI Joes and some Thundercats and Silverhawks, and but either way, you had to run home. You had to run home. For movies, you had to save up whatever you got from your parents, and you take that and you go to the movie rental store, and hopefully they got your favorite movie. And if it's out, you literally have to go back the next day to see if somebody returned it. So it was kind of like a hassle. So I'm kind of glad that everything's right here on the internet. There's no running around to the rental stores and stuff like that, and forgetting to rewind the tape, or late fees for bringing back the tape or the DVD back to the rental stores. So I'm kind of happy that we have this available right there in front of our computer, our TVs and stuff. It's very useful, especially if you want to look for old material. All you gotta do is just click on the website, and there it is right there. That thing, that image, that cartoon or a magazine that you've been looking for, it's actually right there. That thing that you probably would say to yourself, man, I haven't seen that in 10 or 15 years, and it's up for sale. Wow, okay. It's like you're treasure hunting as a child, and when you're an adult, you're treasure hunting all the stuff that you lost or forgotten or disappeared. It's really cool. Another thing that this generation is definitely benefiting from, it's the extra details. And back in the days, we literally had to buy magazines to get more details about a certain film, like the making of a film, or the making of the video game, or the extra scenes of the movie, the extra juicy stuff. We literally had to buy magazines about that stuff. Now it's right there on the internet, about how it was made, how it was where was it made, who was involved in making the movie, who was involved in making the comic. We had to buy magazines. Now we just 2 or 3 clicks, and the information is right there. Who done it? Who made it? What's the next project? What's the plans? What's the ongoing plans for a season 2, season 3, or let's just say if they're gonna make a Terminator or a Predator, they're gonna announce it in this year, and it's gonna be done by this director. It's gonna be done by the actors are gonna have this actor and this actress. It's all right there. All the extra juicy stuff. These kids didn't have to go to Barnes and Nobles and or some type of bookstore, and hopefully it's there. So it's kind of cool that we're getting more from the internet. Yeah, it's kind of sad how the internet is taking out a lot of magazines, but the benefit is this: we're getting more, and I think that's what's most important. So I've been talking about animes and comics, but there's another thing out there that's sparks the imagination. And matter of fact, it sparks the imagination pretty wildly, if you don't mind me saying. And that's kung fu movies. So yeah, kung fu movies. Yeah, I was one of those guys who ran home at on a Saturday, right after playing outside with my friends around 3 o'clock. There'll be kung fu movies shown on Channel 5, and it was mainly from a certain group called the Shawn Brothers. And man, I don't know what these guys were on when they made these movies, but they were on something. Because when you hear titles like Five Fingers of Death, Five Deadly Venoms, Killer Army, and you hear characters called Golden Arms, the White Lotus. You hear places called Shaolin, and you seeing crazy fighting techniques called the Centipede, the Toad, the Tiger, the Mantis. It makes you think like, what am I watching here? You know, what am I getting myself into? And when you see these things, and it's like, wow, you know, these guys got a lot of imagination and they're expressing it in such a ways that it can only inspire you, you know? It can only inspire you to try to put that on paper, you know? All those crazy kung fu movements and those, man, how these guys made these movies, you know? It's very inspiring. It's infectious, in fact. When I hear stories like the Wu-Tang Clan used to gather around just to watch these movies, I can see why. And I can see why the way they are now, making their rap songs and exploding like that, and they're very popular for that. And to see that some of their source material is from these movies, like, wow, man. Just imagine what other people out there are doing when they see these type of stuff. I know when I see stuff like Golden Arms and some guy doing some type of tiger style or dragon technique or copycatting a mantis and formulating it into a fighting style, it's like, oh you know, you can't help but to be like, yo, I need to watch more of this stuff. I need to, where can I get these things, you know? And man, back in the days, it was real cool seeing it as a child. And as an adult now, you know, it has grown from its Five Deadly Venoms into something more. And when you watch these things and like, yo, look at these, and you see more of the costumes coming out. You see more of the Empire come out. More ninjas, more shoguns, more samurais. It's like, wow, man. And then you see a little power-ups here and there. It's like, man, kung fu movies can influence people. Does it inspire your regular comic book artist, your regular manga artist? Does it inspire anime? I don't know, but to me, the way I see it, yes, it does. And I want more of it. I want to see more of it. Kung fu movies is just expiring right next to comics, right next to video games, right next to movies, right next to animation. It does a lot to the imagination. It does a lot. Looking at this coloring process reminds me of the days when I used to buy a certain magazine called the Wizard magazine. And the Wizard magazine was all about the comic book industry. I mainly bought that because it got, once in a while you read this article about how they're rebooting certain characters, and I get excited about who are they going to pick uh, to be the creative team for a certain character, and it'd be kind of cool to read these stuff and hear about the creative team for Batman is this, and the creative team for Captain America is this, and to hear about your favorite writer going to a character that you like so much. It was exciting to read about that, and your favorite penciler and the whole art team. A certain art team is going to a particular character. You get excited about that, It's like the NFL draft picks. You get excited about certain people going to a particular character to help sell. And that was one of the things that I liked about reading that particular magazine. And it comes to the point where you get excited about the writer, the inker, the colorist, and the penciler on a particular character. So my point is that it is funny how technology has changed a few things for the better, of course, for the better. So I mentioned that the creative team will be a penciler, an inker, a writer, and a colorist on a certain book, and of course you the letterer and the editor, but it's really those main four people because you've been following them for so long, and technology has somehow made things better in making a book, but it also has its downers. The inker, when you pick up a comic book these days, you really don't see the inker's name on it anymore because the new tablets, the new drawing tablets, has made it a lot better for the penciler to do their own ink. Even though it's not nice to hear that technology are replacing certain positions, but the bonus part is that look at the color these days. Due to these new tablets, it has done many things for color. No people are not doing color in magic markers anymore, or watercolor. The tablet is an awesome tool. It's an awesome tool to make things better. Even though every artist likes to pick color pencils and markers and some type of what are those paints and those ink brushes and stuff like that. Yeah, those things are still around, but it's nice to know that there is a tool out there that could help you out with all areas of what you want to do. The pencil, the ink, the color is all right there in the tablet, and it's a nice tool to have. Yeah, I still like to go to my favorite art store and check out the new brushes and the paints and see the new markers and the ink sets. Yeah, they're still nice. It's the old-fashioned way is still nice, and I will have to say the old-fashioned way still has a certain enjoyment of using those equipment. But the tablets, man, it's definitely very useful, very very useful, and for a lot of art industry out there, it has done a lot. Well, I will have to pick another example: the animation department. If you look at the animation department, I would definitely say it has cut down on paper dramatically. I remember looking at the old documentaries of the animation studios where have to use tons and tons of paper and just to make a 30 or 40 minute animation. Well, these tablets has a lot of people time and money. And the good thing about these things is that they're portable. A lot of these models are portable. You could take them to a park, a library, a place where you feel comfortable making your art. And these things are also very essential too. These things are essential to have, especially if you don't want to run outside and get some art supply. I say these things are new, but they've actually been around for more than 10 years. Can't help to see these things and wonder, man, look how technology changed many things. I remember back in the days I used to watch Bob Ross painting his trees and mountains and in the forest and taking his paintbrush and beating against his art stand. It was a pleasure to see. But looking at these things, it's so cool. It's like drawing on a flat screen TV or a monitor. Boy, it's funny how technology changes a lot of things. You know, as an artist, you could feel pretty intimidated sometimes, especially when you're looking at other people's art. For a guy like me who's into comics, when I pick up comics and I'm looking at my favorite artists, Jim Lee, Ron Lim, Mark Silvestri, and John Burns, and so on and so on, I have a large list of favorite artists that I like to compare myself with. You know, once in a while I tell myself, how can I compare myself to these guys? You know, these guys are pros. But I forget, and it's easy to forget, that they didn't have a good time starting out either. You know, they had to go through the trenches of learning to be better, just like anybody else. So that realization that, hey, I don't like to say this word sometimes, but hey, in your first couple of months of drawing, you're gonna suck. Whatever art you're into, painting, illustration, or whatever a case may be, it's not gonna look that great. But you gotta keep on trying. And whoever you admire, you gotta tell yourself, you know what? They started out. They have a rough start as well. So it's a nice thing to admire, to be inspired by your favorite artist. But every once in a while, you gotta take a step back and remember that they are also perfecting their craft. They are also sharpening their skill, just like you. So it is good to want to have your art seen. It is good to have your art to be shown somehow. And even though your favorite artist is displaying their art on through a certain company, well, you could do the exact same thing too. Well, if not through a company, you could go through many different channels like Instagram, YouTube, and so on and so on. So hopefully one day you get paid for it if you desire that. But it is a good thing to show it off. Don't keep it to yourself because you feel you're not ready yet, or you feel like you're not measuring up to other artists. Don't feel that way. Put your art out there and see what happens, because it's a good thing. And it's also an important thing to realize to all artists out there that there are lots of people out there that want to see your art. There's a lot of people out there that want to enjoy your art. They want to either maybe even compare your art to other artists and be like, hey, this guy's art reminds me of that particular artist, and this artist remind me of this guy's art that I'm seeing right now. So yes, it's a good thing to put your art out there. You can't keep it to yourself. Don't leave your art in a sketchbook in a corner somewhere and let the dust collect on that book for a long time. No. You know, get out, get your paper and pen ready, and sketch your butt off and see what happened and put it out there, because you never know. The guys that you admire, you know, they had the same feeling too. They had to put it out there to see what happens, and look what happens. So don't keep your art to yourself. Put it out there and see where the boat sails. Just like to say thank you guys for listening to this old guy ramble about back in the days. Thank you for clicking onto this video. And guys, please let's support our bookstores, comic book stores, and movie theaters while they're still around, because you never know. Till then, be safe and take care of yourself. Bye.